Hello everyone, you are watching the channel in search of facts. Sport cars, supercars, hypercars. All these words cause us delight and a storm of emotions. The roar of the engines of these cars brings incredible pleasure, and their sporty silhouette makes everyone turn around. Today, we will show you 10 of the coolest sports cars of 2018 to 2019 model year. Let's go! Audi A5 Coupé. The premiere of the new charged Audi A5 Coupé of the second generation took place at the Geneva Motor Show in 2017. In comparison with the usual version Audi A5 Coupé, the new A5 model is distinguished by a radiator grille with a large mesh and a silver edging with the inscription Quattro at the bottom, as well as more aggressive bumpers with increased air intakes at the front and a diffuser at the rear. Under the hood of the two-door, there is a 2.9-litre gasoline V6 TFSI with two turbines, which produces 450 horsepower and 600 Nm of torque. The gearbox is an 8-speed automatic, and the Quattro's all-wheel drive by default distributes the traction in a ratio of 40:60 in favor of the rear axle. To accelerate from 0 to 100 km/h, the Audi A5 Coupé requires 3.9 seconds. The maximum speed is limited to 250 km/h, but optionally the collar can be weakened up to 280 km/h. BMW 8 Series. Before the start of the 24-hour Le Mans 2018 marathon, the Bavarian car manufacturer presented a new model of the BMW 8 Series Coupé with the G15 index on the SRT ring. The appearance of the new BMW 8 Series was not a big surprise, since the design was previously tested on a corresponding concept. At the same time, the car turned out to be damn beautiful. This is indisputable. The aggressive front bumper with huge air intakes is an integral feature, which is complemented by a long hood with ribs, as well as graceful stamping on the sides and chic hip extensions on the rear fenders. Under the hood of the M850i xDrive, there is a seriously modified 4.4-litre V8 gasoline engine with a double inflator, the output of which, compared to the previous N63 engine, was set to 650i, was increased from 450 to 530 horsepower, and the traction increased from 650 to 750 Nm. The acceleration time to 100 km is 3.7 seconds. Mercedes-AMG GT63S. Mercedes-Benz has been working on a four-door version of the AMG GT for a couple of years. And at the Geneva Motor Show 2018, a serial version of this model was finally presented, which got a rather intricate name: AMG GT 4-door Coupé. The front and rear of the new model really resemble the original supercar in many ways, but at the same time, there are four full-fledged frameless doors, a sloping roof, windows in the rear pillars, and an impressive length. There are three engines, and they are all quite powerful, and by default, they are equipped with a 4MATIC plus all-wheel drive system with a constant rear-wheel drive and a multi-disc front axle clutch. At the top of the range is the AMG GT63S, where the engine is forced up to 639 horsepower and 900 Nm, for which active hydraulic supports were installed. The 2,045 kg liftback reaches 100 km/h in 3.2 seconds, and the top speed is claimed at 315 km/h. Rumors of the appearance of a new generation of Ford Mustang Bullitt were true. The presentation of the new car took place at the January Motor Show in Detroit in 2018. The car was built in honor of the 50th anniversary of the movie Bullitt, starring Steve McQueen. The car was based on the Mustang S550, equipped with GT Premium and Performance packages. The car was stripped of the color stripes on the body, spoilers, and logos. According to the chief designer, Daryl Bammer, all the charm of Bullitt lies in the simplicity of the appearance. The muscle car is driven by a modernized 5-litre V8 engine, with a torque of 482 horsepower and 569 Nm. The engine is connected to a 6-speed manual transmission, which provides a top speed of 263 km/h. Porsche 911 Carrera T has received a new modification with the T-index, which means touring, which is a kind of reference to the most affordable sports cars of the German brand, produced in the 1970s. From the outside, the novelty can be recognized by a different front splitter, side mirror sport design, painted in a special color agate gray metallic, as well as a slightly different grille on the hood of the engine compartment. The base version of the Carrera with a 3-liter 370 horsepower turbo engine, 450 Nm, and RWD was taken as the basis of the modification. At the same time, the T version turned out to be 20 kilograms lighter than the original model and weighs 1,425 kilograms. Although the engine has not undergone any changes, the lighter design, as well as the shortened main pair, allow Porsche 911 Carrera T with mechanics to accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4.5 seconds. The acceleration time with the PDK robot and the Sport Chrono package has not changed point for point 2 seconds. As for the top speed, it is, on the contrary, 290 km per hour, instead of 293 to 295 km per hour. At the end of June 2018, the premiere of the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera supercar took place. It became the most powerful serial model of the brand and was named in honor of the long-standing cooperation between the British and the Italian body shop Touring Superleggera. Aston Martin DBS Superleggera was built on the basis of a seriously modified DB11 coupe. The new bumper, the huge air intake in the front and the changed hood shape can be distinguished from the donor, plus, such a two-door got different headlights and thinner rear lights. As for the technical content, the standard 5.2-liter V12 engine with 2 turbochargers was significantly forced. The British increased its output to 725 horsepower and 900 Nm. This is 86 horsepower and 200 Nm more torque than on the DB11 AMR version. By the way, Aston specialists upgraded the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, as well as replaced the cast iron brake discs with ceramic carbon. The supercar retained the rear-wheel drive with a self-locking differential. Ferrari Portofino. The world premiere of the new Ferrari Portofino was held at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 2017. It replaced the California T. The online presentation of the Roadster took place on August 23, and the car got its name in honor of the Italian resort. The new Ferrari Portofino looks like its predecessor. Although the exterior design is completely different, the supercar retained the long hood and the air intakes in the hood and on the side fenders. The muscular rear arches are typical for the brand's light equipment and the V-Buster's folding hard roof. The supercar is powered by a 3.9-liter F154 V8 with a flat crankshaft and a double inflator, but with different pistons and connecting rods, a turbo pit reduction and a peak torque of barely 5 Nm to 760 Nm at 3000 rpm. The rear-wheel drive Roadster needs 3.5 seconds and the maximum speed exceeds 320 km per hour. Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. The most extreme supercar Lamborghini Aventador SVJ was presented at a special event during the Car Week in Monterrey at the end of August 2018, and its world premiere will take place in October at the Paris Motor Show 2018. Outside, the new Lamborghini Aventador SVJ has received a lot of cosmetic changes, but they are all part of the active aerodynamics. Apparently, the Aventador SVJ will become the last supercar with a V12 engine without any electrical upgrades. Here, a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated engine was forced to 770 horsepower and 720 Nm of torque. The engine is paired with a 7-speed ISR robot. To accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour, the supercar requires 2.8 seconds, and the maximum speed reaches 351 km per hour. McLaren 720S. McLaren Automotive held the world premiere of the new representative of the Super Series line, the McLaren 720S, which replaced the 650S. The British car manufacturer did not just revise the predecessor, but really built a new car. At the same time, the McLaren 720S does not have a single element from other car brands. In comparison with the predecessor, the weight of the car was reduced by 18 kilograms to 1,283 kilograms, which allowed to achieve one of the best performance in terms of weight-to-power ratio. The new McLaren 720S is powered by a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 with 720 horsepower and 770 Nm of torque available at 5,500 rpm. This engine is an updated version of the previous 3.8-litre V8 with 41% of new components. It is paired with a 7-speed robotized transmission and a rear-axle transmission. From 0 to 100 km, the 720S accelerates in 2.9 seconds. Bugatti Divo. The Bugatti company prepared a real surprise for the elegantness contest in Pebble Beach 2018, a hypercar called Divo whose appearance the manufacturer managed to preserve until the very opening of the event. Technically, it was clear from the very beginning that the new Bugatti Divo is a model of Chiron in a new wrap. On the one hand, in fact, it turned out to be so. But on the other hand, the volume of modifications turned out to be very impressive. Unlike the original, there is a completely different front bumper with enlarged side air intakes, and the trunk lid and front fenders are air ducts. Also, a complete revision was made to the headlights. From now on, narrow 35mm headlights with special animation. The same chassis and engine are used here as on the Chiron. We are talking about an 8-litre powerful W16 with 4 turbines producing 1,500 horsepower and 1,600 Nm of torque. At the same time, the maximum speed of the Divo turned out to be even slightly lower. It is limited by electronics at a rate of 380 km per hour.